Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Buff Breakdown. So the snake event, as far as I know, concluded yesterday on JP 1 week in, and today, 1 day later, we got another buff. And yeah, Medusa is getting more love with this event. This time Gorgon was buffed with a skill buff. So let's see what they did. So it's a buff to her second skill. So previously on a 7-turn cooldown, she received a 3k guts for 1 time 5 turns and a 50% crit damage boost for 3 turns. I mean, it was okay. The guts uptime was actually pretty good, but the crit buff, she is an Avenger, so it's a bit mixed. Granted, her first skill after the buff did offer her Buster Absorb, so that's nice, although it was only for 1 turn. So again, unless you have a plethora of stars, it was still kind of hard to crit with her, not gonna lie. But you know, it's there, and you do have supports to help with that, like Koyad for instance. So it wasn't really the worst thing ever pre-buff, but let's see what they did. So now, first of all, the skill has come down in cooldown from 7 turns to 6 turns. That's pretty cool. The guts and the crit damage I just listed, they remain unchanged, but this made the already good uptime guts have an even better uptime. Now it's near 100% uptime. Granted, it doesn't get procced, so that's very nice. Now you should easily be able to get 2 instances of this, hopefully, if you're doing boss battles. So that's pretty cool. But they added 2 new lines after that, so now she gets 50% damage mod against, you guessed it, probably, immobilized targets for 3 turns. So yes, if this sounds familiar, is exactly the thing they added to Rider Medusa on the last buff breakdown. So I guess they're really trying to do that anti-stun stuff, although again, this is anti-immobilize. So it's all debuffs that prevent the enemy from moving, you know, sleep, stun, petrify, bound, what else is there? I'm blanking. Charm, you know, all those kinds of things. So if the target has any one of those, then hey, more damage can be dealt with. So that's pretty cool. And the second new line they added is she now gets 30% MP gauge on use of this skill. So she has a battery now. Reminder, she did not actually have a battery in her skills previously. Although in her MP, after the buff, well, there was an effect like that pre-buff too, but the buff made it even better. So after she uses her MP, the full party gets 15% gauge as well as refund, basically. So this is interesting. Obviously, now that the skill is on a 6-turn cooldown, and now that she has a 30% battery, that means, yes, you will be able to loop with her. Will it be pretty? Not really, just kind of your standard, you know, 50%er. Definitely no Black Grail. Although, I do wonder if there is, maybe you can improve the setup a little bit, or at least have some other choices besides the, you know, usual premium supports because of this 15% AoE. And also, besides solo farming, there could be some application for multi-core as well. Although 15% is still an awkward number, though, especially if you go by red cards, where usually all the gains you get are from straight up from batteries. So having a battery that ends with like a 5%er in this case, it just feels kind of weird. But do let me know in the comments if you have ideas for farming comps that she can potentially pull off now, be it, you know, alternative options for supports on her solo farm, or maybe some multi-core ideas. But obviously, back to the damage increase here with the power mod. It is nice because she, much like OG Medusa, has a stun as well. Her Petrify is even a rank higher, has a 105% chance on base at max rank to petrify an enemy for 1 turn. Now again, the uptime is not great. It's on a 6-turn cooldown. It's just 1 turn. So it's basically the same problem as Medusa. They're both AoE servants. They have single target immobilizes with a lot of downtime on them. I saw some people in the comments of the Medusa video suggesting that the stun price should have been AoE at least, if not the cooldown coming down as well. But yeah, it is a bit awkward again, having the AoE focus. Although I feel like Gorgon at least has a better, you know, chance of doing some damage with her face cards as well. So there, the single target thing is kind of okay. But besides that, it is a little awkward. But again, maybe you can figure out some kind of other servants to pair with them to, you know, make more use of this buff, because it is a good chunk of power mod. It would be a shame if, you know, most of it was wasted. And on that note, worth noting that unlike Medusa, who was like half, Gorgon is both chaotic and evil. So you do at least have a little bit of Dolman synergy with her. And again, the only reason I'm thinking of Dolman synergy is because of the new power mod, because Dolman not only offers good damage buffs for chaotic evil allies, but he also offers a potential stun from his terror on the first skill as well. So, you know, something to think about, I guess, from the top of my head. So last year's tier list on extra classes part 1 that included Avenger, we had her pretty low at just a flat B, because she was mostly just a DPS. With this, obviously her DPS gets a little bit better, but if anything, it seems like there could be some applications for farming now. Now, granted, she is neutral, so you probably need a good copy to do any of that. But there, you can maybe do some stuff now. So I'm just gonna bump her to B+ for now, and then we'll probably discuss better again once we get to this point in the tier lists this year. But yeah, it's alright. So there you have it. Much like the Medusa buff in both the effects and how I feel about the buff, maybe not the biggest changes ever, although I feel like Gorgon will benefit more from the buff than Rider Medusa did, so take that how you will. But yeah, at least they're, you know, they're showing some more love to the Medusa faces. Who knows, maybe they could even do something with Medusa Lily, I feel like. Probably nothing with Saber if I had to guess, because she's already very solid, but you never know, I guess, in this day and age. So if you enjoyed this video, do be a solid and press the like button on it, okay? It really helps out, of course. And do subscribe not to miss out on future videos, including buff breakdowns. Whenever there's some, I'll be there to cover them ASAP. Shout out to my patrons on the screen right now, and Suit for being a big YouTube tier member supporter. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday up ahead. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.